Good morning. Good morning. A little bit later today. Thought I'd have a lie-in. Why not? Who's online? Let's have a look. Excellent. Right. Let's make a start. So very quickly, just running through, this is a mixed ability Pilates class. So I'll offer different layers. Work at the layer that works for you. If you don't feel well at any time, if you're sick or dizzy, then please stop. If you have any issues with your bones in your spine, like you might have osteoporosis or something that causes similar sort of risk of fracturing, then you don't want to be doing any forward bending, any extreme rotation, or any extreme side bending. So I will try and remind you as we go through and offer you an alternative, but please don't do any of those. So let's get started. We'll start with our standing setup, as always. So we're going to start feet together, and then we open up the toes, which you can't see. I'll go back a little bit. Open up those toes like a ballerina, followed by your heels, and you should find that your feet are parallel, hip distance apart, and lining up the gap between your second and third toe with your knees and your hips. So nice gentle pull in through the tummy. And we're going to start taking deep breaths in through the nose for a count of 4 and out through the mouth as we gently roll onto the balls of the feet. So now is your opportunity just to connect your mind and your body. And by that, I mean just become aware of the movements that you're doing. Become aware of being nice and controlled. Oops. Perfect example there of not being under control. And then we can take the weight over onto one side. You're peeling that other foot away, and then take the weight over onto the other side and just gently peel that foot away from the floor. Still taking nice deep breaths in and out, calming the mind. I hope you're all doing okay. It's a little bit crazy times at the moment. So back to the center. Let's keep the weight even over both your feet. Press down your big toe, your little toe, and feel nice and heavy through the heels. Should give you a nice bit of a lift through the arches of your feet. So we're going to keep those knees soft, and we'll do some pelvic tilts. So I'll turn sideways for this. It's a very small movement. We've all got our own range of movement. You feel it more than you see it. So just tuck in that tailbone underneath you. We're shortening those abdominals at the front there. And then we reverse that. Poke your bottom out and stay nice and neutral through this spine. Then tuck the bottom under and poke your bottom out the other way. So we're just moving the hips, the pelvis, and the lumbar spine through its range of movements. Some have more than others. And then we want to find the point in the middle. That should give us a neutral spine. So coming now to length through the crown of the head. So really float the head up towards the ceiling. Feel nice and tall through the spine. We're going to keep that chin parallel to the floor. So when I say float your head up to the ceiling, I don't mean your chin. So keep that tucked, gently tucked in so you can feel that you're nice and long down the back of the neck. You're still pulling in and pulling up. Shoulders come up towards your ears. Press them behind and gently draw those shoulder blades down your back so that you feel nice and open across the collarbones. So nice pull in through the tummy. We're going to draw the pelvic floor up. It's about 30%. So gently contracting. You can feel a little bit of tightening when you start with the pelvic floor. And then we're going to take a breath in, place your fingertips on your belly button. And as you exhale, you pull that belly button in towards your spine, and you can feel that contraction here in the lower belly. You can double check if you're not feeling that, if you're not sure, you can double check by having your hands, your fingertips on your hip bones, and then you come in about an inch, and then you go down about an inch. And in that soft area there, just press in. And then as you draw the pelvic floor up, you should feel a little gentle tightening underneath your fingers. And then as you inhale and exhale, pulling your belly button towards the spine, you can feel that deep muscle underneath your fingertips contracting. That is your TBA, transversus abdominis. That's the one that's like a corset. So now you've got the pelvic floor engaged, you've got your TBA engaged. We're going to incorporate breathing. So it's the breath in. And as you inhale, you're breathing in to the side of the ribs down here where my hands are, because you're pulling in through the abdominals. And as you exhale through the mouth, you find a deeper engagement. So let's practice our Pilates breathing. So pulling up, pulling in as we inhale, wide and deep into the ribs. You can feel those hands expanding out to the side. Close your eyes if that helps you focus. Exhale, deepen that engagement. Let's do another couple of breaths. And exhale. Lovely. Bringing those hands down by your side now. You should feel nice and calm. We're going to mobilize the body next. So it's a breath in. And as you exhale, we'll just look over one shoulder. Inhale back to the center. Exhale as we look over the other shoulder. So nice flowing movements with the breath. Inhale to return to the center. Exhale as you come away from the center. Let's come back to the center, and we'll do an ear to shoulder next. So just feeling that stretch up the side of the neck. Let's do one more on each side. Lovely. Back to the middle. We're going to do those shoulder rolls. So just rolling through the shoulders. You can have elbow circles if you like. So thumbs, fingertips on the tips of your shoulders. And you can extend that range of movement. Keeping a neutral spine so we're not arching through the back. Let's change direction. We're just mobilizing those shoulders beautifully. A little bit of circumduction. And last one. And we can lower those hands down by your side. We're going to keep the hips fixed facing the front. It's a breath in. And as you exhale, just rotating. Imagine you've got a pole through the top of the head and you are rotating around that pole. Exhale to draw yourself round. Inhale back to the center. Limit this range of movement if you have osteoporosis. And we can free that movement up. Think about spiraling all the way from your toes through the whole of the body up to the hair, top of your head. Lovely. Come back to the middle, lining up those feet, knees and hips again. Nice pull in through the tummy, lengthening as we exhale, taking a little side bend, but remember, it's more of a lengthening through the spine. You'll feel it rather than see it. So we're not just crunching down, we are lengthening and bending. Lovely. Let's do one more on each side. And we can add in the arm just to get that nice deep stretch. Excellent. So having mobilized the spine, we are now going to stabilize the spine. And we think about the Pilates box when we do that. So that's the shape made between your shoulders and your hips. So keeping that nice and stable by pulling in, pulling up. we're going to do some leg circles. So you can either keep your leg straight as you do those circles, keep those hips level, or you can bend that leg and then maybe reduce the size of those circles depending on your strength and stability. Keep breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Nice and tall through the crown of the head, so don't collapse through the spine. Think about, you want a nice big gap between your ribs and your top of your hips. Let's change direction. And we'll do one more. Leave that foot out behind you, gently tip forward so we've got that straight diagonal line. Think about the alignment of your neck on top of your spine. Good squeeze through the bottom as we lift and tap, or you keep that leg hovered and you can pulse it behind you. Good pull in through the tummy to keep that upper body nice and stable, and we're keeping those shoulders down and back, so don't just sort of slump forward. Stay nice and neutral. Let's bring that knee to the front, rotate the ankle round one way. Make sure it's the ankle you're moving and not the knee. And change direction. And let's lower. Lovely. Same on the other leg. So thinking about keeping the hips nice and level, straight leg or bent leg. Big circles or little circles. Just working at your level that you feel comfortable working. It's enough of a challenge, but not too much of a challenge. So stay nice and tall. Use the wall if you need to. We can change direction now. Use the wall if you need to for balance. Let's do one more circle. And then we can leave that foot out behind, gently tipping forwards. Again, thinking the alignment of your neck with your spine. And it's a good squeeze through the bottom. And also, when we're thinking about this movement, you want to make sure that your hips are fairly squared up in front of you and you're not sort of twisting and through the hips. Sorry, falling over. Nice long leg lengthened out behind you. Now we're going to bring that knee to the front, rotate the ankle one way and back around the other. Gently lower down. Lovely. So we will get on with a balance now. If you've got enough room, let's do an aeroplane. So I'll do a sideways view, I think. It's probably easiest for me. Make sure I've got the room around me. And we'll start by pulling up one knee. Cowboy boy. So nice pull up and pull in so you're nice and strong through the center. Still nice and tall and lengthened through the spine. We're going to lower that foot onto the shin or have the toe onto the floor, and we open up through the hip. We'll take a few breaths here. A bit more wobbly when you're on carpet than on a hard floor. Nice breath in as we reach up nice and tall towards the ceiling. So we've got an increased height between the ribs and the hips. And then we lower the shoulders. Arms come to shoulder height. Let the knee come in front as it extends out behind. And then we are going to start tipping through the hip, nice and slowly. So pulling up, pulling in, so we're nice and strong through the center. Supporting leg stays soft. Lengthen through those limbs. So really lengthen. And then we lower down onto the floor. Ready to do the same. Right, boom. So, same on the other side. Boys in the house. So, drawing up the other knee. Pull up, pull in, so we're nice and strong through the center. Deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. Let's lower that foot onto the shin or toe to the floor. Open up through the hip. We'll take a few breaths here. A nice breath in. You reach those arms up towards the ceiling. Really get that height through the spine. As we lower the shoulder girdle only, arms come to shoulder height. Knee comes in front. And we're going to extend that leg out behind you, nice and long, and strong through the limbs. As we tip from the hip, lengthen through the limbs. Good, pull up and pull in. And just come down as far as feels comfortable for you. And finishing up, we're going to do our roll downs next. So you can come onto the mat. We're going to do some 4-point kneeling afterwards. I'm just going to make this a bit lower, I think. Should be okay. So we'll do a little bit of 4-point kneeling soon. First of all, our roll downs. So nice and tall, thinking about your Pilates posture, shoulders back and down, knees are soft, feet are hip distance apart. Good pull in through the tummy. And it's a breath in as we start tucking the chin, rounding down one vertebrae at a time. As we round down. Good pull in through the tummy. Imagine that you are bending over an electric fence and you don't want to touch it with your tummy. Come down as far as feels comfortable for you. Try not to poke the bottom out. We're going to start restacking, building back up. Tuck that bottom under. Lovely mobility through the spine. Nice, flexible, mobile spine. And you're going to feel 10 years younger. Hey, boy. Yeah? So rounding down one vertebrae at a time. Focusing, concentrating on a good, strong center, even if there are people trying to distract you. Let's restack one vertebrae at a time. And back up to standing. Shoulders come back and down. Ready to go again. Last one. Let those arms hang nice and long and heavy. Oh, good. Down we come. When we're at the bottom of this roll down, we are just going to let those arms hang nice and heavy and do some big circles. Hold on to your elbows if you need to, so that you can really relax through the shoulders. And then we can nod the head as if you're saying yes, and shake the head as if you're saying no. You can probably hear some bubbles and squeaks and whistles as you do this. That's okay. We're going to come down onto the mat into a 4-point kneeling position. So make sure you've got enough space behind you and in front of you. We're going to do around the world. So when we're in our 4-point kneeling, we want knees underneath your hips, wrists underneath your shoulders. Any issues with the wrists, you can roll your mat up to lift the heel of your hand higher than the fingers, or you could do a rolled up towel is another option, just to make that angle a little less acute. The other option is to come down onto your elbows. That's obviously going to impact on how much of this exercise you can do. Oh, and you can also go onto knuckles, so that keeps the wrists straight. So choose an option that feels comfortable. Think about the alignment, the placement now of your wrists. Your middle fingers want to be pointing straight ahead, and you can spread the other fingers out. Elbows want to be turned so the inside of your elbows are kind of looking at each other. And we're going to find a neutral spine. So just tuck and tilt the pelvis a couple of times, and then you want to find the point in the middle. So that should give you a nice neutral spine. Draw those shoulders back and down. Don't collapse into the shoulders. Press the mat away from you, but don't arch through the back. And the head is, the neck is extension of the spine, so don't let the head drop. Right, we've got our setup. Let's pull up and pull in through the powerhouse. It's a breath in. As you exhale, we extend one leg out behind you. Don't move through the upper body. Inhale back to the middle. We're going to do one leg each, so alternate legs. Keep the toe on the floor, don't add the lift just yet. And we're going to move on to an arm, extending forward and reaching back. Stay nice and neutral through the spine. So this is around the world. And we move back onto the legs. As little movement as possible. Imagine you've got a tray of drinks on your back. And the next one, we're going to add a little lift. Extend and lift. Send that leg away. And then the arms. Last round. So keep nice and strong in the powerhouse. No movement through the spine. Lovely. Sinking back onto your heels. Let's just give those wrists a little bit of a release. So just rounding those hands around. Lovely. We're going to come onto the mat now. We'll do some rollbacks. So you optional props might be that you want to use a strap or a TheraBand or a dressing gown belt around your feet. That's one option just to help you. We'll do some half rollbacks to start with. So feet are hip distance apart, legs are straight, neutral spine. Make sure you've got enough of the mat out behind you. As we exhale, you tuck the bottom under and you round through the spine to make a C shape. Keep the shoulders down and back. Just come down halfway. It's a breath in. Exhale, drawing yourself back up. Make that nice neutral spine. Osteoporosis people, you're just going to hinge back from the hip. Don't know if you can see the difference there. Pulling in, keep the spine in neutral. You don't add that flexion. Otherwise, we tuck the bottom under, we make that C shape. Shoulders back and down. Let's do another half roll back. Inhale, exhale to pull that tummy button in towards the spine. Nice and tall and neutral. This time we're going to go all the way down onto the mat. Arms are going to come floating overhead. Swoop those arms back and round. Reach down towards your heels now as you grab an imaginary tangerine under your chin, peeling the back of the head, back of the shoulders, and your spine, peeling it back up. And then we come up into our neutral spine. Ready to go again. So really think about mobility through each vertebrae. It's like your spine is a big wheel and you are laying each vertebrae down. So if you find that you get here and you can't get up unless you really go like that, I've got an option for you. Everyone else, just keep going. Those who need that little bit of extra help, take your towel, place it a hand width gap away from your bottom. So place your hand in there, place the towel there roughly, an inch thick maybe, and then when you roll back this time, you're going to find that that towel should be in that lower back gap. As we roll back down, might feel a bit strange, but when you come to lift the back of the head, the back of the shoulders, it should help you get that traction where we have that little gap under the lower back. I don't need it, but if you do, carry on using that. The other option, if you find that that doesn't work either, is to just do the half rollbacks until you build up some more strength, and then we can do the complete rollbacks, or you use the strap around the feet. Will also help you just at that difficult point. So I hope you've been carrying on doing a few of these. Let's do another 2 or 3. The slower you go, the better it is for you. Swooping those arms down and round. Make sure that you're breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Keeping that lovely curved spine until we get to the end point, and then we go into our neutral, ready to start again. Just another 2 to do. Nice and neutral. Last one. Still go slowly. Keep the shoulders down and back. Sometimes they have a habit of creeping up towards your ears. So be aware. Let them relax. Let's finish up with a spine stretch, so nice and tall. Now we're going to keep the hips nice and neutral here. As you reach forward, arms stay parallel to your legs. Drop your head between your hands. And it's as if you are reaching forward, but also pulling back through the tummy to get that lovely stretch. Back to neutral. Let's do one last roll back onto the mat, where we can bend those knees. Keep the feet flat on the floor. I'm just going to scoot down my mat a little bit so that I have plenty of room. We're going to do a little bit of work through the upper body now, just to practice our upper body curl up. And again, if you have osteoporosis, please don't do this. You'll want to do something. Let me give you an option for the legs. I'm going to get you to do some knees out to the side. So you can either have your feet on the floor, nice pull in through the tummy, and you're just going to let one knee drop out to the side. Don't let the hips move. So inhale back to the middle. You can also have your legs in tabletop is another option as you do one leg out to the side, and you're working really hard to make sure that the hips don't lift. So that is one option if you have osteoporosis. Otherwise, we're going to be working on the top half. So just tuck that chin, draw the shoulders back and down. And we'll do a breath in. And as you exhale, I want you to just lift the back of the head and the back of the shoulders as you reach your hands down towards your heels, and you lift from the sternum. So nice pulling in through the tummy. Draw that belly button down towards the mat. Relax back down onto the mat. So it's a breath in, exhale, pull up, pull in. We lift the back of the head and then we reach down towards the heels. You're lifting from your sternum. Try to lead with your forehead. And then rolling back down onto the mat, one vertebrae at a time. Lifting and turning up. You're trying to bring your bottom rib a little bit closer to your hip bones. Don't tuck the bottom under. So we don't want, it's only the upper part of the body that's moving. The hips and the pelvis stay neutral. And again, think about leading with the forehead, not with the chin. If you find when you lift up that you're lifting with your chin, that's going to really put a strain on your neck. So you don't want to be doing that. If that's the case and you can't lead with your forehead, then this isn't the exercise for you at the moment. But you want to tuck that chin, lead with the forehead, reach for the ankles. Last one or two. Nice long limbs, long arms. Last one. So we're going to do the 100 next, and that is an option to have that upper body lift. But that is where I want you to be when you're doing it. So often what happens is you go through the 100, you tire, your head gets lower and lower, your chin gets pointing up towards the ceiling, and you're putting a strain on your neck. So you can do the 100 in this upper body lift, and as soon as you start feeling like you're flagging, well, just relax back down and finish the 100 off with your head on the mat. So the 100, we have those arm beats. The movement comes from the shoulders. Imagine that you've got 2 beach balls, one on each side, and you're bouncing those beach balls. So you do 5 beats while you breathe in through the nose, and then you turn to the palms to face the ceiling and do 5 beats while you exhale through the mouth. Nice, long, strong limbs. So it's got to be energizing. Okay, so good sort of fairly rapid beating of those beach balls. Option 1 with the legs is to have one leg in tabletop. Option 2, halfway through you change. Option 2 is to have both legs in tabletop for the whole 100. Then we could offer maybe one leg extended, one in tabletop. Halfway through you change over. And option 3 would be to have both legs extended for the whole of the 100. Nearer the ceiling is easier. Lower those legs to challenge yourself. Keep the spine in neutral. So when you're ready, we're going to bring your legs into position of choice. And again, you can have that upper body lift. I'll start with an upper body lift, but I probably won't be able to finish. And there you go. So just working at your level. I'm going to have both legs in tabletop. And let's breathe in, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, in, 2, 3, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, in, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, in, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, in, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, halfway, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, in, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, in, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, in, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5. Last one, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5. Lovely. Hug those knees in. Have a little roll from side to side. Roll the head. Release it off. Well done. That was the 100. We are going to do some shoulder bridging next. So we'll do some bridging for the leg. And then we'll do some bridging for the arms. So just make sure you've got enough room around you to straighten out those legs, if that's the option for the shoulder bridge that you're going to do. So bringing those feet a little bit closer to your bottom for the shoulder bridge. They still want to be hip distance apart, so you've got a nice stable base of support. Nice pull up and pull in, draw those shoulders back and down, tuck the chin. Breath in as you start to press down through the heels, curl that spine back up, curl the spine off the mat as if it is a bicycle chain, each link coming up one by one. Rib cage stays soft, good squeeze through the bottom, and we've got a nice, gentle, straight line from your shoulders through your hips out through your knees. Keep those knees parallel. Sometimes they want to flare out to the side. So option one will be to have some heel lifts. So we lift one heel, and as that heel lifts, we make sure that we don't just fold up in the middle. So we are staying nice and straight in our shoulder bridge. Lifting one heel, toe stays on the floor. So you're not lifting your foot off the floor, just the heel. And the hip bones are staying nice and level. That's option one. Let's try an option where we're going to lift that leg off the floor. So breath in, and as you exhale, gently pulling up and pulling in, we're going to bring one leg up into tabletop. Keep pressing down through that heel. Hold it as you inhale, and then we lower as you exhale, ready to do the other leg. Exhale helps you ramp up the engagement of your core. Hold it as you inhale, exhale to lower. And then we could straighten that leg up, back to tabletop and lower. So it's almost like we're doing the can-can, but in a very slow, controlled way. So pausing when you come into tabletop, then we extend, then we go back to tabletop and lower. You don't need to extend that leg, you could just stay with legs in tabletop, or you could stay with the heel lifts. Let's do last 3 or 4. Make sure you exhale to really engage deep into the powerhouse before you move. You're pulling up the pelvic floor and you're pulling in through the abdominals. And then we're going to lower the spine down onto the mat. Straighten out those legs. Let's have a bit of a full body stretch. Bend those knees again. Ready to do our second shoulder bridge. So make sure you've got room overhead, room around you. If you're using cans as hand weights, now's the time to get them ready so that you can reach them. And again, make sure you've got enough room overhead so we can really get some work on mobility through the shoulders. So again, feet flat on the floor, hip distance apart. Just make sure you're nicely set up before we start. Breath in, pull up and pull in, and come up into our second shoulder bridge. So keep the shoulders and heels pressing down onto the mat. And then we'll grab those hand weights, if that's the option you're doing, and bring the arms up towards the ceiling. So nice pull up and pull in, keep stable through the hips. We'll start with some marching arms. So one arm's going to go up, one arm is going to go down. And we're just marching those shoulders, marching those arms. Keep the shoulders back and down and just work with your range of movement. Keep the rib cage soft. As we're marching those arms, you might find that you're wobbling a little bit through the torso and through the hips, try to stay nice and stable. So good, pull up and pull in. Keep breathing. Lengthen those limbs away from the shoulder joint, up towards the ceiling. So we're just working on mobility through the shoulders. Let's come back to the start, and we can do some circles. So both hands are going to come overhead, and then we swoop them down and round. With or without the weights, it's entirely up to you. Nice and slowly, keeping each arm balanced with each other, so that the stronger arm is not going faster. Keep pressing down through those heels and softening through the rib cage so that you have a nice neutral spine. And again, we don't want to go too fast here, but we want to get as much range of movement as we can. So focus on trying to drag your knuckles along the floor as you do those circles. Let's change the direction of those circles now. And keep breathing. Keep pressing down through those heels and squeezing through the bottom. Keep the knees in line. We don't want the knees flaring out to the side. Last one or two. We can leave those hands overhead as we gently return the spine down onto the mat, and your arms are going to arc back down to your sides. Lovely. So we've got a nice mobilizing exercise next for mobilizing the spine. We're going to be lying on our side, and we are going to come onto the mat on our side. Use this towel, or if you've got another pillow, that might be better, something a little bit bigger. I'm going to use one of these. We're going to start on our side, arms out in front, head on the pillow, on the front of the pillow. Knees are bent to 90 degrees on top of each other, one on top of each other. We pull in through the tummy still, so we're still nice and strong through the centre. Shoulders on top of each other, hips on top of each other. Breath in. As you exhale, just reach that top arm forwards. And then it gets to the point where it's going to start lifting and opening. And reach up towards the ceiling. Keep looking at that hand as you open up. If you have osteoporosis, you only want to come to about here, maybe up towards the ceiling, so you've got a sort of 90-degree angle. Otherwise, go as far as you can. Keep those knees on the mat, and we're aiming for nice mobility through the spine. A breath or two before we start closing the book. So imagine that you're like a book, ready to go again. So reaching forwards, and then the arm lifts automatically, lengthening through the limbs. Maybe you can find you can go a bit further this time. A couple of breaths in this lovely open feeling. Try to relax. Then we're going to close that book again. Now I've got another option for this last one. Imagine that you're a clock, so the arm is going to go up and over in a big, big circle. And again, we're still keeping our eye on it. So you're rotating through the spine, knees stay on the mat, you open up, keep making that big circle. as it continues all the way around. Lovely. We're going to straighten up. We're going to swap the pillow for your towel because we're going to have that arm underneath you in a nice straight line, or have it bent, use it as a pillow. Straight line through the body. We're going to do some torpedo, and we'll finish up with some leg circles, and then we'll do the other side. So, nice straight line, using the back edge of the mat. Hips want to be on top of each other, shoulders on top of each other. Arm is extending out overhead. Don't let the arm come forwards because that's going to sort of give you a curve through the upper back. Nice little gap through that lower waist. Breath in. Exhale. And we send those feet away. Good pull in through the tummy now. Nice and strong through that center. Hold it as you inhale. Exhale to lower. Ready to go again. Breath in. Exhale. We can lay that top arm across the body. And exhale to lower. Inhale, exhale to lower. Inhale at the bottom. And then we're going to exhale. We can add in a rainbow arm now. So hold it as you inhale. And on the next exhale, we bring the arm up and over. The legs stay elevated. Inhale to stretch. Exhale, we lower the rainbow arm and the legs back down. Inhale. Exhale, we lengthen those legs away. Pull in, hold it while you inhale. Exhale. Reaching up towards the ceiling. Nice long limb. Stretch. And exhale to lower. Inhale, exhale. Send those legs nice and long away from you. Hold it as you inhale. Exhale. Reaching the arm up towards the ceiling as you paint that rainbow. Stretch. Exhale to lower. Let's do another 2 or 3. Inhale, exhale. Lift and lengthen those legs. Hold it. Exhale. We raise the arm up and over like a rainbow. Lengthen and stretch. And exhale to lower. Last couple. Inhale, exhale. Hold it as you inhale. Exhale, we paint the rainbow. Stretch. And lower. Just one more. Good. Pull in through the tummy is going to help you stay nice and stable. If you find that you are just simply too wobbly, then you can do the lower level with the hand in front. Excellent. We've done. We're going to bring that top arm in front to support you. Bring the feet to the front edge of the mat. Bend that lower leg. Lift that top leg now. And we'll do some circles. So stability through the Pilates box, really important, through the torso. So don't let the hips and ribs shrink, the gap here. So we're not going to come too high with that leg. We're going to focus more on sending that foot away as if you're trying to draw the circle on the wall opposite. And don't let the ankle get lazy. Think about pointing that foot, keeping that whole leg nice and active. And exhale, inhale for one circle. Exhale, inhale, exhale, and inhale. Nice and long through that leg. Nice and slow with that circle. Good. Long through the center. Perfect. Let's change the direction. The longer you make that leg, the better you're going to feel. The harder you're going to work. Keep the hips nice and stable. I want you to think about drawing that leg behind you. We want to fire those glutes up as you bring that leg up and round. Last one. Lovely. Just bring that knee in. Give that hip a little pat. Well done, hip. Well done. Let's change sides. So we'll start with the pillow, if you have the pillow. Otherwise, you'll have to try and do something with the towel, which is not ideal. So we're starting with our open book pillow. Head on the front of the pillow. Knees are bent. Hands in front. And shoulders stacked on top of each other. It's a breath in. Let's start sending that top arm over and away, and it opens up. Keep looking at the palm of your hand as you open up, and keep nice and open across the collarbones as you open up like a book. Keep the knees on the mat. And we're going to start closing the book. So nice and slow, reaching up towards the ceiling so that you're nice and open through the chest. Ready to go again. Keep breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. A couple of breaths here so that you can relax into that lovely stretch. Closing up the book. And then we could do that circle again if you liked that one on the other side. So we start by lifting the arm overhead, and again still keeping an eye on that arm as you rotate through the spine. Remember, those with osteoporosis, you're doing a smaller version, so you're only bringing the arm up towards the ceiling. Back to the start. Fabulous. Let us get rid of the cushion. We're going to use the towel now. So along the back edge of the mat, just to help you line yourself up, that long arm underneath you. Hello, baby. And little gap under the lower waist. Hopefully she's not going to join in today. Oh, maybe she is. So a little gap under the lower waist, and it's a breath in. Exhale as you send those feet away from you. Hold it as you inhale. Exhale to lower. Ready to go again. Exhale, send those feet away. Hold it as you inhale. Keep pulling in, pulling out, so we're nice and strong through the center. Bless you. Exhale, we lift and lengthen. We can lay that top arm across the body now, just to challenge your stability. Exhale to lower. Baby, don't do that. Exhale, we lift and lengthen. Stay nice and strong here in the center. We're going to add in the rainbow arm next time if you want to. Breath in, exhale. Hold it while you inhale. Exhale, the arm comes up and over like a rainbow. Stretch. Exhale to lower. Ready to go again. Hold it. Inhale, exhale, the arm comes up and over. Lengthen. And exhale. Down we go. Inhale, ready to go again. Nice pull up and pull in. You exhale to lengthen. Hold it as you inhale, exhale. Arm comes up and over. And I want you to lengthen that arm away from you as you do the rainbow. So think about creating space in the shoulder socket. Exhale. Hold it. And then exhale. So create that space. Lengthen the limbs. Stretch. Exhale to lower. I think we'll do one more. We should do, it's always a rough estimate with me, whether we've done the same on both sides. Hopefully you feel that we have. Impossible to count, really. And lower. Lovely. Leg circles next. So we'll bring that top arm in front of us to support, legs to the front corner, bend the lower leg for support, and that top leg we're going to keep nice and strong now, not let the ankle drop. So just have a little look. We're pulling through the tummy, straight, long leg as we do those circles. So half a circle while you breathe in, half a circle while you breathe out. And you are lengthening that leg away. Don't come too high. We don't want the gap between the hips and the ribs to shorten too much, if at all. It's more about lengthening that limb away. Strong through the ankle. Let's change direction. Again, as you draw that leg behind you, make sure that you're squeezing through the bottom, working all the muscles around the hip joint. Last couple. If you do these exercises well, we don't need to do many to get the benefits. Let's do one more. Excellent. You can feel the difference when you do the exercises with good form. So again, a little pat and rub on that hip, and we're going to move on to our forward lying exercises. So we're going to do the dart today, which is going to work the whole of the back of the body. So forehead on the mat. You might want to watch one version of this before attempting it yourself, because there's a lot of different things to think about. So forehead on the block, and you might need to see it before you can do it. Hands down by your side, palms facing the ceiling, and we let the shoulders collapse forward onto the mat, and our heels just fall out to the side. So we're nice and relaxed to start with. Then we're going to pull up and pull in. So we're nice and strong through the center. As we exhale to lift and lengthen through the crown of the head. Your hands come to the back of the thighs, reaching down towards your heels. And then we're going to turn so the palms face each other, except from the shoulder, so that we're squeezing the shoulder blades together. Exhale to lower. Let the shoulders collapse onto the mat. So inhale, exhale. We pull up and pull in. We lengthen through the crown of the head, reach the hands down to the heels. Turn. Oh dear. Turn the palms to face each other. And then lower. And inhale, exhale, ready to do it again. Of course, the cat is an optional extra. She's just trying to make it more challenging for me. So exhale, pull up, pull in, lengthen through the crown of the head as you reach down towards your heels. So you're drawing your shoulders away from your ears. Turn the palms to face to each other, which will draw your shoulder blades together. And then exhale to lower. So we're just doing the upper body at the moment. Let's do another couple. Whoops, just the upper body. Squeeze those shoulder blades together, reaching down towards your heels. Make sure that whilst your limbs are nice and strong and long, they're not really super tense. So think about length. You come up onto your sternum as you lengthen through the crown of the head. So let's add in the arms, the legs now. Next time we lift, the legs are going to lift too. But it's still about length through the body. We're not just folding up. We don't want any pressure in the lower back. Right, babes. So you can feel tension down the whole of the back, nice and strong in the center, will mean that you don't feel any pressure. Last couple. You can stay up for a couple of breaths using your Pilates breathing. You're so funny. Anyone would think she's starved of attention. I know, lovey. Last one. Lovely. Let's just come up onto all fours. We're going to do our angry cat. So gently pressing your spine up towards the ceiling. Drop the head between your arms. Press the mat away from you. Tuck the bottom under. And then we're going to cow. So drop the belly, lift the tail. Draw the shoulders back away from your ears. Keep looking down at the mat. Exhale, go back into our angry cat. So pull your belly button up towards the spine, round through the spine, tuck the bottom under. Back into our cow. We're going to find a neutral spine now. And we can walk those hands around to one side. And walk those hands around to the other side. Let's come back to the middle. We'll do thread the needle next. So the arm goes through the gap, lower the shoulder, bend the other elbow, reach through. Back to the middle, same on the other side. Back to the middle, we're going to open up the knees, keep the toes together, place your forearms on the mat and just send your tail away to the other side of the room. So you get a lovely stretch through the spine. Coming back onto all fours, we're just going to do one last roll up to standing. So pop those toes under, walk the hands back, straighten up the legs, restack through the vertebrae, coming back up to standing. It's a nice big breath in. Reach those arms up and back as you press the hips forward. Whew. Give yourselves a clap. Well done. You've completed today's lockdown Pilates live streaming. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you feel really good now and enjoy the rest of your day. And I will see you again on Friday, hopefully. Yes, because today's Wednesday. I'm losing track. Anyway, stay safe. I hope you're all doing okay. Leave me some comments and some feedback. Really helps to hear from you if you enjoyed it. Okay, take care. Bye.